we go. Cowboy fans, I just got one question for you tonight. Well, I'm sorry, two. Is it Dak MV Prescott or is it Dak MF Prescott? Oh, yeah. The second question, how y'all water taste?
Two times on the beat, bitch.
What's good, Cowboy fans? It's your boy, Uncle Fred, back in the house, back in the saddle, one more again. And man, I'm just trying to tell you, Cowboys, they put a scare in you, but they get the dub tonight on Thursday Night Football, prime time video. Jeff Bezos, I guess you're getting your money's worth. That game is a whole lot closer than it should have been. Cowboys get that win, get that dub, 41-35. And all I got to say is, we might as well just go on and say it's Dak MV Prescott. All right. As it sits right now at the 12-game poll. It's 12 games out of 17. We got 5 games left to play. And of course, that's going to determine where we fall and how we, because we playing some good opponents, starting with Philly, then Buffalo, then Miami, then Detroit, and then Washington. Okay? And depending on the outcome of those games, and if you base it on what we done seen in the past 6, 7 games, and I know it's against maybe a little bit lesser competition, man, right now, he my MVP, but I don't really care if he gets the MVP because I'm looking for that other title. Regular season titles don't really mean nothing, but sure feels good for the quarterback who everybody put on the scrap heap. Everybody, even Cowboy fans, want to be, we just got rid of him. We'd have a chance to win. Man, if he wasn't on the team tonight, you would have daggum lost tonight if it wasn't for number 4 tonight. But let's get into it. And I had to start the thing with a here we go. Yeah, that's it. That's the thing right there. I'm sorry. That thing's so cool. That's so cool right now, man. I'm saying that all the time. And I ain't even I ain't talking about the Cowboys. I'm like, here we go. Here we go. That's the thing. And it ain't even me to say. I mean, Aaron Rodgers is even talking about that. Aaron Rodgers, and his guy that he goes on his podcast all the time, the punter. I can't remember his name right off the top of my head, but he was talking about how good Dak Prescott is. He said, "Look, we'll get to his cadence in a minute. Let me tell you about how good Dak Prescott is right now. He's one of my favorite quarterbacks to watch right now." He says, not even about him just making throws. It's about him getting people into the right plays, setting the protections, and all that sort of stuff, moving guys around and using his cadence. Sometimes it's a dummy cadence to get guys. And he got a guy offside tonight. And he threw it was a pick, but he got the guy offside with his dummy. Here we go. The here we go that here we go is hitting. I'm sorry. The here we go is what's up right now, right? And so the Cowboys get the win. Now, we've always talked about, and when people are critical of Dak Prescott, and of course I've been critical of Dak Prescott. Look, man, I call a spade a spade. When the Cowboys any arm or any part of the Cowboys don't do what they're supposed to do or don't play as well as I think they should, I'm going to be critical. And it's just it. If any piece of the Cowboys is not playing well, not doing what I would like to see them doing, I'm gonna call it out. I'm not gonna say, "Oh, it's fine, it's fine." And they like tonight. I'm not gonna say the defense is dominating. The defense was booty tonight. The defense never forced a punt. Now we did get three turnovers on downs. We'll talk about that in a minute. But um, but yeah, Dak Mvprescott or Dak Prescott. Okay. He put team on his back tonight. And it's always been said about Dak that, that's the difference between the good quarterbacks, the so-so quarterbacks, and the great ones because, Dak always had it, always had everything working for him. The thing got to be perfect for him. Everything got to be perfect when Dak play. He got to have a strong running game or he can't play. You got to get back to him only throwing it like 15, 20 times a game. Let that defense and running game win it for him. He got to have that. Oh, he got to have elite receivers all over the field and stuff. Oh, he got to have that dominant offensive line. Look, man, wasn't none of them things on display tonight. I know Tony probably got a couple of nice runs. Got a nice 14-yard run late in the game when they was kind of salting it away. But for the most part, it was 2-3 yards here, 2-3-4 yards there, and that sort of thing. But Dak Prescott put them on his back tonight. All right. And it's been said if he's not one of them kind that he can put a team on his back and carry them when the other parts of the team don't have their fastball. And the defense who usually look, we got the number one pass rush in the game. And that ain't just me saying that. The PFF guys say that. Number one pass rush in the game, right? And you kind of felt like they was going to come into this game and have their way with shaky. They got a couple of guys on the offensive line out. You thought with a shaky offensive line that the Seattle Seahawks had, you thought that, oh, man, Geno going to be running for his life. They're going to force him into a couple of picks. Oh, contraire, Monfrere. We weren't able to get nobody's pressure, all right? But the defense didn't have their fastball today, and it started right from the third play of the game, man. Third and 3 or whatever the case it was. Shoot. Geno Smith goes back to pass, has time, sets his feet, bam, over the middle. DK Metcalf with Deron Bland in coverage, breaks loose, 74 yards, touchdown. And I'm sitting there like, really? And I should have known. I should have known because all week long, I've been hearing, man, DK Metcalf was just building Bland up. Oh, man, he takes such great angles on his man. He tracks that ball just like a wide receiver, man. Man, he got more touchdowns than I do. Not after the day. Not after the day. But, yeah, he got more touchdowns than I got. Because Bland do got 5 touchdowns on defense. And Metcalf is like, no, I'm working. I'm working dude. Dude, a second-year player. I'm like a 6-year player. I'm working dude. And work him he did. And he wasn't done. I mean, right before halftime, man, we figured, look, we forced him into a punt. And, not a punt, but to a field goal. And we'll go to the half with a 20-14 lead, or at the very least a 20-17 lead, because knowing they get the ball to start the second half. So, dadgum, they go up top again. But this time it's to Jackson Smith and Jigba, the rookie out of Ohio State. Again, burns Bland. And Bland, to make matters worse, to add insult to injury, or injury to insult, however way you want to put that, he's late and comes down, goes across the back of him, catches the ball anyway, and it's a touchdown instead of a field goal. It's like a 41-yard touchdown. I'm like, really? And like I said, you cannot fall because they're building him up all week. Everybody was talking about him. Darius Slay was talking. Man, he's the MVP, as far as I'm concerned, because that's a cornerback to a cornerback. Cornerbacks, no cornerbacks, right? Metcalf was this man. Metcalf was throwing all kind of praise on him, and I was just hoping, Deron, do not fall for the banana in the tailpipe. For you millennials and all you younger folks, the banana in the tailpipe goes back to Beverly Hills cop, Eddie Murphy. Eddie Murphy was being followed and tailed by some cops because they were trying to follow him to see where he went because they thought he knew something about, what happened on this particular murder case or whatever. So they was following him. So they had a stakeout in front of his hotel. Okay. So while they on a stakeout and eating in the car, he slips around behind that car and stuffs a couple of bananas from the motel's fruit stand, stuffed them in their tailpipe. And then he comes out around and like, hey, I'm leaving. And when they try to take off, the car wouldn't go. I don't really think that really works. I think the car would just push them things out the tailpipe. But that's always been a saying now. Don't fall for the okie doke, or don't fall for the banana in the tailpipe. I didn't mean to get into digress into all that, but I was hoping Bland wouldn't fall for the okie doke, and he kind of fell for the okie doke. And I'm sure they scouted him and said, "Hey, unless you're running them out routes, he can be had on some of these other deep routes or whatever, and positioning and stuff like that." Probably they saw that route that Devontae Smith ran about 3 weeks ago that got him on a 41-yard touchdown, and running some of that same stuff. But this was in the middle of the field, and that was a good pass. I mean, he went up and got it too. I don't know where my light went, but he finna come back. Let's get her back. Where's my? Yeah, here we go. Here we go. That's good right there. And he gave up a touchdown. And then right before the half, he gave up a touchdown. But that one came back on a penalty. Without a penalty, but they said that Jackson Smith and Jigba dropped it, or didn't drop it, but the ball touched the ground. I thought he might have caught it, but when you look at it in slow motion, it looks as though that the ground didn't maybe help him maintain possession of it. So they called, but it was pass interference. So it's going to be at the 2-yard line anyway, and it's like 7 seconds left to go. Now, if it was me, I'm like Seattle. I'm kicking a field goal because 7 seconds, you don't have no timeouts. But they line up and they throw it in the end zone. Touchdown, Noah Fant, but we call a timeout right before the snap. And so for the third time is a charm. So third time at the 2-yard line, and touchdown DK Metcalf, his second touchdown of the half. It really wasn't on Bland, but Bland was in the area. It was really the formation and the rub route made Gilmore and Curse run into each other. And then, Bland was the only one over there to try to clean up the mess. So he was in the area. So Bland was in there. So when they looked at the end of the half, he had given up 5 catches for like 137 yards and 2 touchdowns, which is the most yards ever given up this year by any player in a half. So all the stuff folks were saying about, I'm gonna quote Bill Parcells now. Put the anointing oil away. Put away the anointing oil. When everybody was when against Carolina on Monday night, Tony Romo came in, threw like 3-4 touchdown passes, was all over the place, running around all over the place, and everybody's like, "Ooh, this guy good. That guy good." And Bill Parcells said, "Put the anointing oil away, right? Okay." But no, don't get me wrong. Ron Bland is that guy. But let's put away that, he better than Deion Sanders, better than all these other guys, because he's done something they were not able to do. Okay? Sometimes those things are the results of circumstance, right? And he's able to get in certain situations and get him. So don't get me wrong, he's still an all-pro. He an all-pro. He ain't our first team all-pro. They need to change the rules and prerequisites for that. But he got cooked on that, and it is what it is, man. And hopefully, with the kind of head that guy got on him, I believe he will go back into the lab. He got 10 days to work on it, and he'll be better for that, because he was getting a lot of stuff, right? So we go into the half trailing 21-10, even though of the 30-minute half, I think we had the ball like 22 minutes. I don't think the Seahawks had it for like 8 minutes. We didn't get we got 2 touchdowns and 2 field goals. So we go to the half. We had like 219 yards of offense. Didn't punt. They didn't punt. And so we go to halftime. And of course, I'm thinking they're gonna make halftime adjustments and all that kind of stuff. But no, Didn't make any halftime adjustments because the Seahawks, after the half, um, they go 10 plays, 75 yards, and culminating with an 8-yard run by Geno Smith, make it 28-20. And I'm sitting there like, oh, bleep. We down 8 points to these guys. And so, and this is where all the stuff comes from when people start talking about, well, they struggle against good teams, but they believe 35-3 against, the also rans and that sort of stuff, whatever, right? So, and nobody was saying, I heard a lot of people saying, oh yeah, we're gonna blow these guys out. It's gonna be 38-15 or 14. And I'm like, no. I saw, them they got manhandled by the 49ers last week, but it's because the 49ers are physical. They run the ball and ran it down their throat. We're not built to run it like that. And they are actually built really to stop what we do. But Dak was just too good tonight. Because they got stars in their secondary. With Reek Wooten, and Devin Witherspoon, and of course you got Jamal Adams back there, Brown's back there. I mean, they got some dudes back there in their secondary. So I mean, you're not gonna just fling the ball loosely down the field on them. They got a good secondary, and they love to hit, right? They hit. And so I knew it was gonna be, a little bit of a tussle. And plus, what people fail to realize is that these football players are not Madden characters. Right? They're not. They're not Madden characters. These are human beings. They're people with feelings. They got emotions. They got pride. They got dignity. And the Seahawks had lost 2 in a row to the Rams and to the Seahawks. I mean, to the 49ers. And so, they didn't want to go 6-6 because that was going to very highly limit their opportunities to play in the playoffs. Okay, if they was to go 6-6, so they coming to Dallas with everything they got, with their best game plan. And Shane Waldron called a heck of a game plan, from the pass protection that they gave Geno Smith into the route concepts that they gave, picking on, if you want to, targeting, however you want to say it, Deron Bland. And their game plan was, I think, that is as well as Seattle can play. And just like Dak said, when you play the Cowboys, everybody plays their A game. I'm going to tell you, the effort that they played tonight beats 95, 96, 97% of the team. That effort they played tonight would beat the Eagles. Okay? I'm telling you, that effort that they played tonight would beat the Eagles. I'm just telling you. Now, are they going to play that kind of effort when they play the Eagles in 2 weeks? I don't know. That remains to be seen. Because they got a rough road to hold, too. Because they play the 49ers next Sunday, and then they play the Eagles the Sunday after that. Well, they got a week off, and they play the Eagles. Okay. So we'll see. But Dak was the man. Didn't have the defense. They just didn't have. They're going to stop here. And they couldn't get a stop. And I know they were saying, dude, if we can just get one stop here somewhere in there, if we can get 4 of the ball back one more time, he's gonna get us. And he had him. He had him tonight. Let me give you his stats for tonight. He was a star. He was a football night in America, whatever you want to call that telecast, Prime Video, whatever. Star of the night. Dak Prescott, 29 out of 41, 299, 3 touchdowns, no interceptions. Your quarterback right now leads the NFL in touchdown passes. He's sitting right there at 26 touchdowns and 6 interceptions. You do know in the first 6 games of the season, after they had just beaten the Chargers on that Monday night, about 6 weeks ago, 6 weeks into the season, because I think they were 4-2 when they beat them. Dak had 6 touchdowns and 4 interceptions. Do you know since that time, in the 6 games since then, Dak has thrown 20 touchdowns and only 2 interceptions? 20-2. And right now, and I know we don't go about right now because we got games left to play, But right now, Dak Prescott is playing the quarterback position better than anybody that's playing quarterback right now in the NFL. Now, what does that mean? Well, it doesn't really mean anything. It just means he's playing well right now. And I like to give recognition where recognition is due. And thank God we had a Dak Prescott tonight because, defense, really did. And the coaching was kind of, and we're going to talk about some of those things too later. The other stars, CeeDee Lamb, CeeDee Lamb missed a catch on the sideline on a 4th and 2 in the third quarter, which that was a blunder too because I thought we should have went for the field goal then and took the lead. That was one of the coaching blunders I thought we had there. But CeeDee Lamb, 12 for 116 yards and a touchdown in the first quarter. Brandon Cooks, 4 catches, 45 yards, and a touchdown, including a 19-yard touchdown. And my boy Jake Ferguson, 6 catches, 77 yards, and 1 touchdown. And was woofing with Jamal Adams and Wooten and them. They were woofing. They was trying to get it, and I know there was one play he jumped over a linebacker trying to make a tackle on him, and Frank Clark was like, "Man, that ain't nothing." He's like, "Bruh, meet me back in just a little bit because I'm coming right back at y'all." And coming back at y'all, he did. Came back and later on the next drive, got like a 14-yard touchdown and spiked it right in their face. Jake Ferguson is my man. 6 catches, 77 yards, and a touchdown. The defense, nah, not today. But I will give them credit for 3 plays. They made 3 plays tonight out of like 59 plays. Let's see. How many plays did the Seahawks run tonight? How many plays did they run tonight? The Seahawks ran 64 plays. Cowboys made 3 distinctive defensive plays in the game. None in the first half, none in the third quarter, but in the fourth quarter, D-Law had a big stick on 4th and 1 or whatever on a running play on Zach Charbonnet. Beat the tight end and got inside of him and upended him and had him short of the first down, preserving keeping Seattle, because if he gets that first down right there, I believe Seattle goes down and gets a touchdown, and it's like 42-30. All right, and for our practical purposes, that game might be over with. But he makes that stop. Cowboys get the ball back. They drive down, and they get a touchdown. And I think that's the touchdown to Jake Ferguson that I was talking about, right, where he made a couple other big plays on that drive, and Dak hits him after they had just gotten a delay of game. But Dak, that's all right. I'm going to hit my man Jake Ferguson on the next play, and he got a touchdown on Jamal Adams, who was just in his face trying to talk jack. But in the pregame, folks were saying if you can get Jamal Adams in pass coverage, that's where you want to have him. When you're closer here to the line of scrimmage, you're not going to like your chances against him because he is physical. He is like Donovan Wilson. Him and Donovan Wilson is the same dude. Okay, same dude. They're on the line of scrimmage. It's like they're another linebacker, but they so in coverage, right? So touchdown, made it 38-35. And then later, the defense makes another play on a 4th down at the 7:19 mark. At the 3:11 mark. Deron Bland, one of his few big plays today on 4th down, tips away a pass on 4th down, which allows the Cowboys to take the ball and take some clock and get down inside the 20. And I thought they kind of misplayed that, but they end up kicking the field goal to make it 41-35 with a minute 43 left to play, which we'll talk about that in a minute. And then with a minute and 7 left, Michael Parsons blows up the pass protection and gets in on Geno Smith before he can really set up and basically has to throw the ball away, and that preserves the win. And then from that point, it's just a down set. That's ball game. All right. So Cowboys offense got about 4 stars. Defense, I'm gonna narrow it down to just 3 plays. Other than that, they really didn't do nothing. Okay. Now my concerns. Got a couple of concerns that I have. If I can find them, here they go. I got concerned. Defense not be able to get off the field all day. And like I said, shouts out to Shane Waldron for calling a masterful game. And like I said, you knew you was gonna get their best shot after they lost 2 in a row, and they really feel like they're a playoff team. Heck, I feel like they're a playoff team, and they just lost 2 games in a row at the worst time of the season. You knew they was gonna have to look, man. Our season is on the line here, and that's why I'm saying when these guys aren't Madden characters. These guys got feelings, they got emotions, they got passion, they got pride. So you knew they was gonna be playing they best game, and so they did do that. But I still think our defense should have been able to got off the field at least 4 or 5 times and force some punts, but they weren't able to do it. They mismanaged the last 2 minutes of the game. CeeDee Lamb broke loose on a nice end around, I guess you can call it a speed option. I think that's what you would really want to call that. And I think he got away for, I think it was like a 24-yard run. Got it down like inside the 20. And once they got inside the 20, they got another first down, like at the 12-yard line or something like that. And right at about the 2-minute warning. And then they made a play, and they made Seattle use their second timeout. They ran a play, and they made them use their third timeout. So about a minute and like 46 seconds left in the game. In the game, Seattle is out of timeouts. So to me, if we want to talk about complementary football, and those are kind of things that Mike McCarthy talks about. PCP, play calling purpose. There's no way I'm throwing a back shoulder fade or whatever into the end zone on that play. I'm running the daggum football. Put that formation in there and allow Dak to give him another one of them zone reads and see if we can get them 2 yards. And let that be it, and see if we can run the clock out. Because by them throwing an incomplete pass, that left a minute and 43 on the clock. And they kicked the field goal, but it's a minute and 40-something seconds left in the clock. Of course, they need a touchdown, but they got a touchdown earlier before the halftime with only 90 seconds without a timeout. Okay? So that was not good complementary football, and that was not good play calling purpose, or PCP, as Mike McCarthy likes to say. So I had a problem with that, right? That's going to cost you in some games. I'm going to give you another one. In the fourth, was it the fourth quarter? Third quarter. When it was 28-20, 28-27, and we got it, we got it like inside the 30-yard line. It was 4th and 2. I'm taking the points there to take the lead. So make it 30-27, 30-28. I'm taking the points there, okay? Because you never know. I mean, it's second half. You never know, because we have not been able to stop them. When we don't get this 4th down, and they didn't get the 4th down, and then I don't know what's going on with my light, but it keeps wanting to leave. But I'm gonna see if I can keep getting it back. I think it's timing out on me. Is what I think it's doing. Here we go. But the Eagles and the Seahawks went right. It's a bird too. They went right down, got a touchdown to make it 35-27. So Dak's like, man, I'm an 8-point lead. It's the fourth quarter. Let's get it. And they go down, get a touchdown, get a field goal. I'm sorry. Then they get a stop. That's where that 4th down stop comes in from D-Law. And they go down, and that's when they get the touchdown to Jake Ferguson to make it 38 to 35. And so that pretty much did that. So yeah, I got some concerns about some things. Not able to generate pressure on 41 Geno Smith dropbacks. I got concerns about that. We got the number 1 pass rushing unit in the NFL, and against one of the shakiest offensive lines in the NFL, and we couldn't get no sack. Now, hats off to Micah getting that pressure with 1 minute and 7 left in the game, but man, it would have been nice to have, been able to, and so it's letting people know that if we don't get pressure, man, sometimes our secondary can get beat if we don't get, because they kind of work hand in glove. Okay, they kind of work hand in glove. You know, the pass protection leads to, you know, a rush throw and pass coverage where we can get picks and get turnovers. If we don't get pass rush and guys back there and get back there, set his feet and look over the defense, then, you know, that's like anybody. Give them time. I don't care what defense you put out there. These are NFL quarterbacks, but I was a little concerned that we weren't able to get any pass rush. Okay, all right. But the bright side to that as we close this video and close this chapter, our quarterback, number 4, Daiquiri, whatever you want to call him, Rain, Dakota Prescott, whatever you call him. You want to call him Mvprescott or Mvprescott, whatever you want to call him. He been playing out of his mind, okay? He's been playing out of his mind, okay? And we got 10 days off to prepare for them Eagles. And, of course, the Eagles got to play the 49ers Sunday while we sit back and eat our popcorn and watch. And the 49ers got 10 days off to prepare for them. So good luck, Eagles. You get to face 2 consecutive opponents with 10 days off to prepare for you. Now, if you can knock both of them off, I'm gonna take my hat off and hand you the division. But I just don't think you can do it. Okay. Well, that's all I got today, man. Cowboys get that dub 41-35. Thanks to the heroics of your main man, Dak, Rain Dakota Prescott, having an MVP season. And I think with the games we got coming up, he will be able to solidify his MVP chances. Now, I don't necessarily, like I said, want him to get the MVP. I could care less about regular season awards, but it is good for that's a get back for all those people that tried to say, "Oh man, turnovers is in his DNA. Oh, he can't beat good teams, or he's really just a backup quarterback. You can't win with him." And I'm like, dude, teams done won with Trent Dilfer, Brad Johnson, Joe Flacco. Who's gonna start Sunday against for the Browns against the Los Angeles Rams, actually. And teams are won with Wilson, Russell Wilson, when he was a game manager. Okay, so the guys that didn't do a whole lot, just drove the bus, have won Super Bowls. Okay, so you don't have to be Patrick Mahomes or Tom Brady or any of them dudes to win a Super Bowl. You know, but he playing some good football right now. So your quarterback's playing good football. We 9-3 and we got 10 days off, man. How about them Cowboys? That's all I got today. Please like, comment, and subscribe. Become a part of the Uncle Fred Sports experience. I guarantee you will not be disappointed. And hopefully by the next time we'll play, we'll have one Darius, otherwise known as Shaq Leonard, on our roster. Met with us on Tuesday. Met with the Eagles on yesterday. Left both of them, but I've heard from Brian Baldinger. He leaning Cowboys. And by the looks of things tonight, we might need an extra linebacker to get them run fits and cover some of them plays. Seahawks got a lot of loose plays tonight, and a good linebacker like him that's seen it all might work wonders. But later for that. But that's all I got. God bless. Catch y'all on the next video.